This is why you're busy all year and still not making money as a home service business owner. You check the bank account, there's money in there, you think, great, this is cool, we're doing all right. But then your payroll hits, your materials, your fuel, unexpected expenses, and suddenly you're back to wondering, where did it all go? I did all this hard work, like, what the heck? So if that's you, stay with me. My name is Derek Schweppe, and I'm the founder of Home Coach, and we help home service business owners, landscapers, electricians, roofers, HVAC, plumbers build profitable businesses that can be run by their team. Now, I've done nearly 10,000 coaching calls one-on-one with business owners, and I can tell you the most common pattern that I see isn't lazy business owners or bad markets like you hear all the time. It's capable, hardworking dudes and ladies, hope you're out there. But it's capable, hardworking dudes that are running full schedules with almost nothing to show for it at the end of the year. And if you want to understand exactly why that happens and what to do about it, I want you to do two things. Number one, subscribe to the channel. And number two, keep watching. Let's dig in. Let's talk about a couple problems that we've seen. So first thing, I want to ask you something. How do you know if your business is profitable right now? Like, genuinely think about it. My guess is that you're going to say something like, oh, I check the bank balance, or I look at what's left after payroll, or man, we're so busy, we must be doing great. But that's a guess. And guessing is a terrible and unsustainable business strategy. And here's the problem with guessing. When you guess at your profitability, you can't make real decisions. You're making decisions, but they're not real decisions that probably should be made. You take on more jobs hoping things improve. That's the thing I hear the most. We just got to do more. Got to get after it. We got to work harder than everyone else. You hire more people because, revenue looks okay, like money's coming in. You buy another truck because you think you can afford it, or another machine. And the whole time, you're just flying blind financially. So here's what's actually happening under the hood of probably your business, but most of these businesses that we see. Your job costs are probably invisible to you. You quote a job, you win it, you send a crew, you invoice, and money comes in, right? Whew, awesome, we did a great job, we got money, but did you account for the drive time? Did you account for the fuel? Did you account for the amount of time that you were paying your guys that you weren't actually utilizing them to produce revenue? Like, you can't say like, oh yeah, these guys are working 8 hours a day, so they're going to produce 8 hours of revenue producing activities. It doesn't work like that. Did you factor for change orders, materials that ran over? There's a huge list. I mean, callbacks because something went wrong, or all the time your foreman spent on the phone with you in the middle of the job. I'm guessing probably not. Most don't. Because they don't know that, they're going to price this on just like gut feel. Like, I charged one like this. I'll charge it this way. They're commonly going after and basing it off of what competitors charge, what feels reasonable to them. You know, we sell how we want to be sold to. And, you know, in home service especially, we're good old boys. We want it. We want to take care of people. We want to be taken care of. And we think, hey, I'm going to sell it to this because I think this is what the customer will pay. But that's not the case. That's not pricing. That is most typically a race to the bottom. Like, I see it all the time. Let's talk about your labor. This is another thing that most owners never really learn until it's too late. When you're paying an employee $20 an hour, you're not paying $20 an hour. You're paying closer to maybe 26, 27, up to 30. Once you factor in things like your payroll taxes, your workers' comp, your liability insurance, that's called your labor burden. Most people just calculate, it's like, I pay this dude $20 an hour, so the labor cost on this is $20 an hour. Not the case. And if your pricing doesn't account for the labor burden, and most don't, I promise you, you are losing money on every single job and you don't even know it. Let's talk about something we already alluded to, but the bank balance illusion. When we open that up and look in there, we see money like, oh, we got money. Feels good, dude. I get it. I've been there. But here's what that money actually is. Some of it is revenue that came in that is already spent on materials. Some of it belongs to the IRS. Maybe your quarterly taxes that you haven't set aside or paid in years. Some of it's next month's payroll you're going to need before your next invoice gets paid. Overall, the bank balance, like, it isn't profit. It's so hard to understand that because you see cash in there and like, I got $100,000 in there. That is not realized cash. That money is not reconciled cash in your pocket. There's a difference between profit on a P&L or cash in the bank to cash in your pocket. A lot of that is probably money that just hasn't been claimed yet, but is already earmarked for something in your business. Profit doesn't mean realized cash. I want you to realize that. It's important to understand. And here's the part that really stings is the harder you work without fixing these things, the worse everything is going to get. I promise you, because when you're operating without financial clarity, growth doesn't solve problems. It stacks it. I see it all the time. Like, we're going to work harder. We're going to get more trucks. We're going to get more crews. But if you're not making the right margin and or losing money, which so many businesses are, when you scale, you just start losing more money. It multiplies your problems. More jobs mean more hidden costs. More employees means a higher labor burden that you haven't priced for in the first place. More revenue means that more cash is tied up in materials and other expenses before payments come in. You could have some cash flow issues. So most owners think that more is the answer, and I'm here to tell you that it is absolutely not the answer. Clarity in the answer. More after clarity is the answer also, but clarity is the answer. More business without clarity is just a bigger mess. And this is what I call the clarity problem. It's the single most common reason that capable, hardworking business owners like yourself end up exhausted, and at the end of a full season have nothing to show for it. Like, I worked 16-hour days. Like, where the hell is my profit? Like, there's nothing left in the business for me. And it is not a work ethic problem. Like, I have never met a home service business owner that had a reasonably successful business that did not work his or her ass off. Harder than nearly every industry I've worked in and coached business owners in. Every owner I've talked to works hard. It's not a market problem. There's plenty of work out there. Sometimes it's harder to get that when the market and the economy shifts, but it is out there, I promise you. And it's a clarity problem, guys. They just don't know what they don't know. And that may be you. And guess what? That's okay. That's why we're here. So here's what I want you to understand. The fastest path to profitable business is not more jobs, right? It's not just doing more of what you're doing. It's understanding the numbers and the economics of the jobs that you already have. You narrow down your financial clarity and take 1 hour, that is worth more than a month of getting out there and hustling. I promise. When you know your true cost per hour, your true hourly rate, what you actually need to charge per man hour to make money on your jobs, not what you guess, but what it actually costs to put a crew in the field and break even plus your profit margin, right? You're not doing this to break even. Everything changes. You know what to charge. You know what to get rid of and to cut. You know which jobs make money and you know which ones don't. And guess what? When you know that information and you know, hey, I printed money on this job and I got my ass kicked on this job, I'm going to cut this job. What do I have to do differently? Where's the hole in this boat to make this job look like this really profitable job? You start plugging the holes in the boat and stop losing money. You know when you can afford somebody. That's one of the biggest issues. And the number one issue in the home service space that I deal with, that I see, is talent, right? Finding the right people, retaining the right people. We've got tons of trainings on this, but just knowing when it's time to, when you can afford someone is a big deal. Knowing your numbers helps you know when you need to raise your prices, because it's going to tell you like, hey, I'm not hitting my target margin on these jobs. And we've tracked all this information. So boom, guess what? It's time to raise prices. The interest rate and the inflation in the economy in the last few years went up, 17%? Like, we should probably be matching that, or we're just getting our butts kicked. So decisions that used to feel like guesses for you, once you figure all this out, they start feeling obvious. We go from making emotional decisions and that kind of was like, yeah, the wind's blowing this way, so I'm going to bid this one at this amount. That goes away. We start using data-driven decisions. I'm going to use an analogy I use all the time because it makes sense to me. I'm a visual learner, and I love cars. Imagine two guys driving cross-country, right? You're going, let's say, Los Angeles to New York, coast to coast. The first guy, dude, he's a hard worker. He grinds so hard. Doesn't need a GPS. I just got to show up. I got to drive harder. I got to look at all signs. I got to just do it better than everybody else, right? He gets in the car, and he just goes. I'm out of here. He's aggressive. He's fast. He puts in 18-hour days. Now, 3 days in, he's in Texas. He's way off track. He's out of gas. He's exhausted. He didn't make it to the next rest stop before he ran out of gas. He's going completely the wrong direction. He's going kind of southeast. He's supposed to be going like northeast. Now, the second guy left at the same time. He takes 10 minutes, gets clear on his destination, get clear on what he's doing, plugs it into the GPS, and he goes. He drives efficiently. He takes the right road. He doesn't have to stress about carrying all the weight of understanding like, oh, what does this sign say? Where's this exit? Where's all this? His GPS is telling him. It's talking. The data is telling him this is the most efficient path for you to get there. It tells him when he needs to stop. He arrives at his destination, New York, or for this analogy, the end of the project, relaxed and refreshed and clear. Probably not refreshed. That's a long drive. I'd hate to do that drive. But they had the same starting point. They had the same destination and completely different outcomes. And it's the same thing I see with business owners all the time. They think that they can out-hustle a broken or non-existent GPS. And right now, most of you are driving without a GPS. That's okay. Let's talk about, I've said it a lot, right? I've said data-driven decisions, data. Retire to my nerdery and talk about some more data. Let's talk about the facts, the research, right? Because I'm just a dude. Who am I to know? Let's talk about the science. So McKinsey, which is one of the top business research firms in the world, they found that businesses using data-driven decisions are 19 times more likely to be profitable. 19 times more profitable. Not twice as likely, not 10 times as likely, nearly 20 times more likely to be profitable. That alone should scare you. Are you making data-driven decisions? Because if you're not, you are at a 19 times disadvantage. That is not a little disadvantage. That is massive. 19 times more likely to be profitable. How many more times can I say 19 times? One more at least. 19 times. Burn that into your brain to make data-driven decisions. This is what happens when you stop guessing and making emotional decisions and you start making data-driven decisions. Well, I wanted to actually talk to you about what I see in coaching calls. I mean, we have clients doing $150,000 a year to doing 50 to 60 million a year and everywhere in between, right? Our sweet spot, our new clients, we love that 200,000 at a minimum up to 2 million range. Like that's our bread and butter. We love that range, but we have clients in all ranges of the spectrum. But I've worked with business owners and have talked to business owners doing $8 million that are taking home less in profit at the end of the year than another client running an $800,000 operation because he understands his numbers and he's dialed in. I promise, like it's insane. The most extreme one is I had a client doing 50 million when we started with them. They're doing a lot more, but they were doing less profit than one of my landscaping clients who was doing 3 million at the time. Less profit, doing, what is that? A lot more times the business, like not 20 times, but pretty dang close, 15, 16 times the business, making less profit. That's a lot of headache. That's a lot of work. So revenue is not profit. Revenue is a vanity metric. I don't give a crap if you say, do I do $10 million? If it costs you $10 million, $100,000, guess what? That business sucks. You're losing money. Revenue is not profit. Being busy is not profitable. The difference between the two is almost always clarity. Like if you've been following me on social media here on YouTube, you know I'm so big on clarity because clarity and accountability gets you the results you want. But clarity and knowing what it actually costs you to run your business and pricing accordingly to reflect that and adjusting your pricing over time to ensure that you're hitting those goals, that is what it's all about. The owners who figure this out, they stop wasting so much effort on the wrong things. I guarantee if we get in your business, we look at all of your products or all of your services or whatever it is you do, there are things that are probably losing you money that you don't realize, or making way less money that if you just put your effort into other services or products, you would clean house. That is what clarity does. I've got a client, he's in the construction space. When I started working with him, he was working, oh man, it was insane. He never saw his family. His wife was pregnant. He was working like 16 to 18 hour days. He was working from the minute he woke up to the minute he went to bed, trying to get 6 hours a night sleep. Most nights he got 4 hours of sleep. And you'd think, like, oh, dude's crushing it. He's working super hard, so he must be printing cash. He wasn't. He was drowning. He was upside down. He had bills that he couldn't pay in the business and his personal life. He wasn't paying himself personally because he had to pay his guys. Just getting destroyed, right? And it's not unique to him. I've had a bunch of business owners and clients that we've worked with that's where they are when they come to us, is they just can't do it. They hit that ceiling of no more. Like, I am done doing this. Is not a way to run my business. Now let's fast forward just a little bit. Matt got really fine clarity on his numbers. He did it through some nerdy spreadsheets that we did together, through analyzing some profit and loss statements, by implementing a system into his business, a field management system that allows him to understand his profitability per job. Now, fast forward, it's not even a year later. He went from not paying bills, stopped driving one of the work trucks because something broke in it and he couldn't fix it. Credit cards are maxed out, line of credit's maxed out, nothing in the bank. Today, he is clearing 50% net profit margin on his jobs, and his schedule is stacked. That is the power. And that's not me. That's not me saying like, oh, look at me. Look what I did. Look what my team did to help this client. That is, look what is possible for him because he took the time to get clear on his numbers. That's it. It's clarity. It's data-driven decisions. He cut out all the BS that was losing him money. Now he's stacking highly profitable jobs, and he's targeting those specific ideal clients that he wants to do, and he's living his best life. He's paying off his debts. He's rebuilt his emergency fund in the business. He rebuilt his emergency fund and his savings in his personal life. Like, it's so much better. It's so much more fun when business works, and business is hard under the best of circumstances. So don't freaking make it harder for yourself. Like, the numbers are the language of your business. Your business speaks numbers. And the sooner that you become fluent in that language, the sooner that you can build a profitable business that doesn't rely on you, that could be run by your team. When you get clear on these numbers, here's what your life actually looks like. You stop checking the bank account just to feel okay. And think about this right now. You probably have a time, maybe right in this moment, you don't know exactly where you are financially. How would you describe that feeling that you feel right now? You could be up 5 million, you could be down 5 million, but when you don't know, it is heavy. There's a lot of shame there. There's a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress. But now, when you get clarity, you know what's in the business. You know what the business is doing. You understand the cash flow. You understand the profitability, and you understand why. It's not just like, oh, hope some money's coming in, hope some profits. Like, you are dialed in and making this happen. You stop taking on every job that comes in because you know which ones are worth taking. This last client I talk about, he cut out 80% of the services he offered, 90% maybe. He narrowed it down to niche down to one. Actually two, one in the summer, one in the winter because he's in a cold climate. And he is the expert at those, and he's killing it. And he makes way more profit than he did on any of those other services. So guess what? Boom. 86 them. They're gone. They're out of here. So he knows which jobs are worth taking. When you stop wondering if you can afford to hire someone, you do the math and you actually know. You start sleeping better. Not because your business got easier, but because you're not carrying around uncertainty all freaking day. Your decisions get faster. They get cleaner. They get less emotional. They get data-driven because you're working from facts, from cold, hard data, not what feels good. The business starts to feel like something that you can control, not something that is controlling and crushing you. And we're not just talking about accounting. This is the foundation that every other decision gets built on. So here's what I want you to do if this hits home. The first thing that we do with every client inside Home Coach is build their profit path. We look at your actual numbers. We're going to look at your true cost per hour, your gross margin per job, which of your services and products are actually profitable. And we work all the way down to the exactly what you need to do on Monday morning to hit your annual profit goals. You'll have that clarity. Most owners have never seen that clearly. I've done well over 1,000 of these. I've had one business owner ever who had clarity on the data that we discovered. And he was a bigger numbers nerd than I was. It's pretty rare. So when the business owners do get clarity on this, the decisions get obvious really fast of exactly what you need to do. So if you want to know exactly what your business needs to become more profitable, to become more data-driven, to become less emotional, less crushing than it is, not someday, like right now, book a strategy call. There's no pressure. Hop on a call with us. We'll work through you. The link's going to be below in the description. We'll look at your business together. We'll look at your numbers together, and we will create a plan together. If this video is useful, subscribe. I put out content every week for home service business owners who are just like you, who are serious about building something real. I'll see you in the next one.